Hi guys, and welcome back to Mums and Melanin. My name is Iola.
I'm Debbie.
I'm Takoni.
And I'm Skumbo.
And today, we're talking about submission. But before we get into the meaty, greedy stuff, can you please press pause and just subscribe to our channel? Click the bell so you get the notifications. We're trying to build a beautiful family and community over here. Join us, come on board. All right, so guys, we're talking about submission in relationships. In different contexts, do you not? When do you submit? When shouldn't you submit? And all the meaty stuff. So who's taking this one?
I guess the question first of all to ask is, what is submission? Like, what do you see as? What do you define it as?
For me, submission is essentially do as I say, not as I do. So if I tell you to do, like if your partner says like, I don't want you to go out wearing those type of clothes, or I want you to be a housewife, like in you saying, okay, fine, you're submitting. No, maybe I'm getting this completely wrong. But
No, that's why.
that's my idea of
yeah.
submission. Like they say, you do.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward. That's it. Like I don't know. Does anyone have any other?
I think to me it's like when I think of submission, it goes hand in hand with trust. So it's like, so it may be, I guess there is some sort of yielding. Like, okay, you may, I don't know, like you may think this is one route, do you understand? But let's say your partner has another route, but it's actually, no, okay, I trust you enough to say, okay, you know what, let's try it your way, let's do it your route and see. So yeah, I would say for me, I think I see it as like trust.
I get that, because in my head, I would find it very difficult, borderline can't, submit to someone that I don't trust wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I don't think you.
It doesn't.
Can.
But people do.
Yeah,
people do.
But like, for instance, even the example you gave before, like to me, like that's like the things I don't like. I don't really like rules. I'm not really a law. That's not really me. I don't really like those kind of things. When you're saying like the first examples you gave, to me, like in my head, I'm thinking, nah, you have to run for the hills, like you need to break free. They're trying to shut you down.
Yeah. And this is like,
Yeah. His first response would be, he's mad.
Yeah, like no, that's not wrong. Like, we need to run for the hills. Do you understand? For me, it's a very like when I think of submission, it's more of like a collaborative approach. Do you understand? Like, so in church, talk about that. You're submitting under the vision. Do you understand? We're building something here. Do you understand? Not everything. For instance, okay, that's a company, right? There needs to be a CEO. Everybody's got opinions, everybody's got whatever, but the CEO may have like the sort of final words, if that makes sense. But if you're a rubbish CEO, you won't listen to the people you're with. Do you understand? If my husband is not thinking straight, you're not going to listen to me. But obviously, like if you want to make the best decision, you'll take my opinion on board.
but why does your opinion matter if he's the head and you're meant to be submitting? I'm just asking questions.
Okay. Give me a workout. I'm equal.
Do you know what? The reason
To be careful. So where I find a lot of issues to do a submission is, she said I'm a human.
Are we equal?
We need to look at the fact that submission, we're looking at submission as a terminology. You're mentioning a few things, but a lot of it is compromise, right? Then you need to look at leadership. These are all different words. They're not submission. Submission and what that actually means is do, yes, do, whichever way, maybe male to female, female to male, female to female, whatever, right? There's some type of agreement. Like, however, you don't submit, or I won't submit to someone who I don't trust their leadership. Okay, so now when I look at your leadership, how you think, whether you're a self-centered person, so everything you're asking me to do is basically limit me to be you. Yeah. That's the question. Then there's compromise, because even if you submit to a leader, quote unquote a leader, or someone who...
This is someone that you're looking to date, isn't it? Or marry or whatever.
Yeah, even if you do, there still has to be a sense of compromise. Because if somebody loves you, they will consider your views, your opinions on everything they may want to proceed with. So it may change their view and say, actually, let's do it your way, let's try it my way. So there's a lot. This is, for me, submission, you can't just be like, it's not a black and white thing. Yeah. There's a lot more involved.
But a lot of times when they talk about submission, it's definitely linked to marriage, like what you said before, in terms of, is it that you're submissive from the day you get married, or is it from you're showing him from early before you get married that you can be submissive?
Yeah, I think it's very dangerous to do it in a relationship. I thought, and the reason why I say that is because I didn't do it very well, but I tried to. I tried to before, and I felt like I didn't even know who I was. Do you understand? So it's like, because I wanted to like be with this person, I was, and if you ask person, they'll be like, no, she didn't even do nothing I said. But to me, I knew that there were certain things I was just, as in I was looking at myself from outside thinking, nah, come on, like, what you even cook? Like, why are you pretending here? Like, do you understand? But I was doing like things, just like, you know, like, maybe it's not pick me, but it's kind of like that. Do you understand? I was doing things to be in someone's good graces. But I think when I think it's dangerous to do it outside of marriage. Outside of that commitment, you're becoming someone you're not. Do you understand?
But then I think men will argue.
Someone that you're not.
No, because I guess my hope is that level of commitment the person's made. Well, obviously the hope is that everything's done with genuine intention. Do you understand? But that should set you in mind that there's a trust there. Do you understand? There's a love there. Like when I think of submission in the sense of marriage and in the sense of my faith, it's like wives submit to your husbands, husbands love your wives. Do you understand? So the two are in hand. So I wouldn't dating. Nah, it's not really. I'm not saying you have to be a rebel. Do you understand? Because even like at work, your manager says do A, you do it. Do you understand? Even with friendship groups, someone may give good advice. Should you take it on board? So I'm not saying you be like, I'm not listening to anybody. We're dating, but you can't tell me nothing. But I'm just saying, if you come to a standstill and the person's like do A and you really don't want to do A, I think it's a bit dangerous to conform that early. I don't think it's necessary.
I guess guys will argue that they would like to see that you can, see the I don't know, the ability to submit and be this wife before obviously marriage. Okay,
so personally for me, I think this whole don't submit. This is what I was trying to understand where you're going, because you mentioned the cooking. That's an act. That's an action.
No. But I'm not a cook. So it's pretending.
No, I know. I find that to be different to submission.
Yeah.
No, but I was trying to be someone I wasn't. Do you understand? And it's
so he was telling you cook.
I was trying to do cookie cutter wife. Can you see?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do. This is what looks like what a wife should be.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be that. They listen. They do this. Yes sir. No sir. Can you see?
But that's what I'm saying. That's you trying to do something of an image. You're trying to emulate an image that you believe a wife should be. That's not necessarily submission.
No, but submission was part of that. And I think it was premature.
Maybe or maybe even an ill view of what submission is. Do you know what I mean?
Makes you feel like
no. But even the goodness in it, I think it was premature.
What makes you feel like it was premature?
I don't think he deserved it. We weren't at that point yet.
So that's on.
So really, you're not leading me. We're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Where are we going?
Okay.
What are we building right now? Where are we going?
So my experience is different. The reason why I say that is because I do believe there is some submission before you get married. Like the truth is, you're going to show a reflection of what you plan to be in the future to some degree beforehand. If I feel like you're just, I'm going to use a term that's not great, but if I feel like you're just a waste man, I'm not going to wait till I say I do and I've committed my life to you to now say that actually you're not, because then there's a risk that you may really just be this person you've been presenting to me with my life, and where am I going from there? So I think there's stages to everything, and obviously sometimes it's difficult because you can't say it's at this point or at that point. Yeah. Relationships are very different. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Some relationships develop very quickly, and some would say 6 months is too soon, but for some 6 months is great because of how much they've grown in that time.
Yeah.
So you can't put a time on this. But when it comes to submission, I do believe there's some sense of submission before marriage. I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
You're committed to one another, yes, but outside of that, you're kind of trying to work together. Like you're trying to submit to the overall goal.
But then you're talking about a relationship that's moving in the direction of marriage.
Yeah. So the only reason why I can only talk about it like that is because for me, I will only submit to somebody who's of my faith, who's believes, because I'm basically courting. I'm dating to get married. I'm not really dating
just to date.
Perhaps exactly. Yeah. So because I've not really had that in my adult life, dating just for dating, it's a bit difficult for me to answer it other than from any other angle than this for me. But because I would date to get married, immediately there is some sort of submission. Now I still believe in levels. I believe in wisdom. I believe in being a bit cautious and make sure that you're not the only one giving and submitting. Because like talking about, the Bible says that obviously wives submit to your husbands and your husband should love your wives as Christ loved the church. Christ is submitted to the church.
He died.
Exactly. So technically we're both submitting. That's the way I see it. Submission is on both sides. So no one's really at risk of being left high and dry because we're both submitting, we're both compromising, we're both trusting, we're both doing this at a risk.
But when you think about it, submission's always been a woman's thing. It's for the women. It's not. It's not. Never been both sides.
I think a lot of that's culture. So people take like, I feel like I think it's a lot of culture, personally. I think people take it outside of marriage, people take it outside of the Bible, and that's when, for me, it becomes a bit dangerous. And the reason, if I wasn't in this faith, if it wasn't the life I was living, what does it mean to me? It's like Greek and French. It's not translated. Yeah. It's not necessary.
And the reason why I co-sign what you said about culture is because some people, they will see their husband submitting or their partner submitting as them cooking for them. You know, everyone's very different. What they see to be submission is very, very different. The African culture will be like, particularly our parents,
because I guess
age, it's like, you're using him. He's becoming your toy boy.
I guess the thought is that it's for a man to be a leader and a woman to submit, meaning that she kind of follows his lead and should trust. So I see submission as being so you trust and respect the person enough to lead fully in its entirety. So if Abdul was to call me now and say, listen, I need you to jump out the window and do a role because something, I'm going to trust that he's got my best interest. I'm going to have to, I have to, innit? Because I'm believing and I'm trusting that the reason why he's telling me to do that is because for my best interest.
But this is the thing. Hold on, before that, this is the thing. This is why I think submission and trust is different, because if Debbie called you and you were elsewhere and she said jump out the window and do roly-poly, you would still do it.
I'll say why.
You know why, but if she's like, listen, do it.
No.
There's a sense, no, let's be honest. There's some people that are like your sister.
I know what you mean, she might want to mug me if you do it. There might be cameras outside.
It's such a strange request. It's such a strange request. I can't imagine Tokumbo calling me and saying, Ayola, listen. Someone's going to say with seriousness of telling you to jump out the window, right? So I'm just going to say, Ayola, just jump out the window. She starts getting into my face. I don't know why I did to her. But if she calls me, my point is that there's friends like sisters, and there's some things that, you know, we all care for one another. 100%. There's some calls, there's some requests that are just too abnormal that I know that it must be because something is up. Okay. I'm not saying no one's going to ask questions. Even my husband, you might be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, you're still, as a natural human, you're going to be like, I don't get it.
Can we bring it to a normal request? Can you give us another example?
Maybe not jumping out the window.
Something that could be like...
Make dinner, I'm on my way home.
That's too basic. What if it was something like, okay, listen, I've just left £1,000 outside somebody's house. I need you to go and collect it. You don't know where the money's come from. You don't know what it's to do with. You just know that there's £1,000 there.
But you should trust.
I'll make it for a friend. As long as I know you're not involved in no problems. Like, maybe it's possible. But I'll be like, where you get the £1,000?
This is what I'm saying.
Are you asking questions beforehand, or are you just doing it and then?
But even if, can I be honest?
This is not submission, guys.
Can I say something before? Again, so when I think of submission, I always relate it back to my relationship with God. Do you understand? Because that's who I submit to first. And I'll be asking questions. I'll be confused. I'll be sharing how I feel. Do you understand? I can't do jump and how high. It's not. I guess it's back to how I am as a person. It's not really gonna work. I have fears. I have emotions. I have doubts. Do you understand? And I think as a person, I'm allowed to express these things. As I said, I'm not a slave. I'm not like a servant. Do you understand? I'm allowed to kind of say my feelings, and it shouldn't make you feel. Obviously, as long as I say it in the right way, not the why you been idiot for? As long as I say it in the right way, you should be able to validate that. Should be love.
I think that's a good point.
I agree with that. And the thing is, off the back of that, the Bible itself is a book of love. It's telling you how I feel towards you, why I do this for you, why I do that for you. I love you. So that's why I'm saying it's not. It should never be submission is not a one-way thing. And that's another example of how it's just not, I can never see it as a one-way thing. Do you know what I mean? Both submit, and I do think it's a society thing and perhaps like, you know, the olden days and why, you know, women not working and all of that kind of stuff. Obviously, even in this country, like women not working and not being able to do particular type of jobs, etc., etc. I think that's built this belief that women submit, and submission means putting your life on hold and being a dolly for somebody.
I think it's changed over time. Yeah, it's changed over time, and it's interesting because now women work. We weren't working before. Yeah. So to submit, not to submit, but I guess to submit, is easier. You're at home, you're kind of looking after the kids, you're not working. Yeah. Nowadays, you see, it's a lot of independent women type of movements.
The playing field's leveled out.
It's changed a bit. But so this is women now are finding it hard. What I find is that women are finding it hard to submit because they are this independent. I got my own money. I got my own shit. You can't tell me nothing.
But this is what I'm saying.
You're seeing now on social media. What have you seen?
For me personally,
no, you're old school. You're old school. These girls here. old school. The
Oh,
girls now are very much, I'm doing my own shit. I'm getting my shit together. You can't tell. And when you're in that position, how can you submit to a man unless he's higher, let's say financially, and more stable than you?
Submission is a decision. I'm gonna I know you want to
I believe that.
Submission is a decision, right? You can submit to someone who earns less than you if you choose to. You can submit to someone who hasn't got their stuff together and you have, if you choose to. These are decisions that you choose. Submission is giving yourself to someone. Like when you go and submit your coursework on Turn It In, right? You're giving yourself to somebody, right? So at some stage, even when you're dating, you're giving yourself to someone. That's why commitment comes in, all the rest of it comes into this giving of yourself, right? The only reason why I'm a bit on the fence about the example is because you may have two very driven people who are getting their stuff together, they're doing life, but they're still submitted to one another in terms of life. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But
it does, but
I think that's an exception. More times, women will find it hard to submit to a man that's...
I get you, but I'm not gonna lie, I think it's important, like, okay, so I think women will find it hard, it's tough, and I think it's lifelong learning, isn't it? Because like I said, I liken it back to God. Not everything God tells you to do, you do. Do you understand? Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. It's not always perfect, that's life, isn't it? But I think also, it's like we want a lot from the man, but so okay, that's it. So basically, the men have submission, isn't it? So they're the leaders, right? So the leader, it's a great position to be in. You should be on the head, the leader. But there's a lot of weight that comes with that. Do you understand? And I think it's important for guys to work out what a man looks like. Do you understand? Because how would a girl submit to a guy that doesn't know where he's going or doesn't know what's happening? Like, you can't be a fool. My pastor said, if you're gonna have your wife submit, you can't be wrong all the time. Can you see? Because you're like, let's do this, and then we're bankrupt now, with no money. So you can't be a fool. You have to be wise. You have to be looking. You have to be learning. You have to be a role model. That's the truth. If you want someone to look up to you, you yourself have to be a role model. So I think I thought some people want the rewards. Do you understand? You want someone to hang on you, but you don't want to step up for responsibility of doing the most. You know?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was actually going to say. That for me, I'm not old school.
No, you are. You're traditional.
Yeah, you are traditional.
I'm traditional to a certain extent. So that's me personally. I'm a very strong-willed person, and my yes is yes and my no is no.
Yeah.
So when it comes to relationships and submission, people will tell you that they can't submit to nobody, because I need to see that you have a clear vision. I need to know that you're not gonna run me into this ground and drag my children along. That's
it's fair. But that doesn't mean you can't submit.
Doesn't mean I can't submit.
That's my point.
I'm very much able to submit.
Exactly.
I'm very much happy to submit under correct circumstances.
Exactly, and that's why to your question when you said someone won't submit, it's not that they won't submit. It's more so you have to know that you can. It's a decision, and it's a big.
What
decision,
are the circumstances we looking for when we're talking about submission? Like
it's subjective to self. I can't lie to you. We can give all our examples today. Someone else might have two others. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But I just feel like you need to know that you need to be able to trust that this person thinks of the whole picture and not just them. If not, you don't do yourself a disservice of submitting to them.
This is it.
Because there's still a responsibility in submission. And I feel like sometimes we look at submission like, once I've done it, all my responsibility out the window, I turn blind to everything.
In my head,
it's not like that.
Is you are the head, I am the neck. Without me, you're going to fall on this floor. But I'm happy to just navigate you, and you know what you're looking at. But I'm just helping you to turn in the direction. That's it. So I'm in the corner like, but don't you think that maybe we should? Okay, no problem. And then we go that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but then sometimes good leadership even is, and I think you alluded to this. If your spouse, being either the female or the male, because different relationships are different, right? If they're like, actually no, so the person who takes more of a leadership position says A, and the other person's not actually B. Good leadership is A looking at B and saying, actually, that's good. Let's go. That's why I say that's not submission is not a one-way street. It's not now that you're a leader. Even a good leaders are not people that are black and white, my way or the highway. They listen, they consider, they review, they juggle. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot to it, and there's a lot of maturity when it comes to submission. So I wouldn't, if you're not in a place where you're ready for a relationship, definitely do not submit. And also, submission is not easy because there's a lot of trust.
Literally, do this.
You're not doing this.
Exactly.
It's like being controlled.
That's dictatorship.
If you're in
saying even a friendship, because their friendships are dictatorships. Like if you're in any relationship that you're being dictated to, you can't live your life. You don't feel free. You feel like when they tell you to jump, you say how high. That is unhealthy. Full stop. Over and out. You should not be submitted to anything that looks like that. That's the biggest red flag you can look for in town. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's why sometimes I just feel. Sometimes I just feel the term submission has been, you know, kind of twisted and turned, and it has a lot of grey areas to it because it's not being taken as what it is in the right context. You know what I mean? Sometimes good things can look bad because of how they've been misused.
And it's the misuse that makes it hard, I guess, for women as well, because a lot of men use it to control women. And that's why women are like, you know what, actually, I'm out. It's cool.
And that's why I said you don't lose your common sense because you're submitting. If you notice that, because people do change, and along the line, if you notice that something's switching up here, everything's becoming a dictatorship. I can't breathe if I didn't ask. I can't stand up. I can't sit down. It's true. If you start to notice that, this is why you always need to stay switched on, because submission is not like losing yourself. It's not slavery. It's not.
And I agree with what you're saying in terms of it being a decision. It's something a conscious decision that you make, because it's something that's like grown over time, just like trust, respect and stuff. It's over time you realise, actually, this person has their head screwed on, and actually I can trust that they're going to lead and lead with my best interest as well in heart. So
exactly that. No, I agree. But I do, to your point about like women having it all together and it being difficult. I can understand. Do you understand? But again, back to the other point. It needs to be the right person.
that needs to be the right person.
Some women, you need to remember, that a woman that finds it difficult to trust, there's a reason. Something's broken that trust. We don't come into this life with broken trust. We actually come in being the most trustworthy people. You throw up in the air, you believe it's going to come down. Even though it has helium in there, you're like, when is it coming? You believe, do you know what I mean? We're born into the world with trust. So remember, something's gone wrong. If you don't deal with what's gone wrong, of course, you're going to have a guard up. Who wouldn't? Do you know what I mean? Anyone who really has been burnt or is wise enough will have that guard that like, I'm doing my own thing. And it will take a lot to trust, yes. But that's why you have to consider the way they behave, the way they consider you, the things that they think about you when you don't think about yourself. All those things are examples. So that's why I said don't give too much too soon. But there is an element of submission to some degree before you get married. Do you know what I mean? But that's one of the first months.
Don't give it too soon. That's my worry. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'll be doing the most like.
And be honest with who you are, what your views are. Like, don't try and conform to the vision of what a wife is. Every wife in every home is very, very different. And every husband is happy with their different wives. So as long as it works for you two, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not. But at the same time, make sure you're safe. Make sure you're using your brain. Stand back sometimes and review. Am I being taken for a mug here? It's true. And sometimes you have to be that black and white with yourself, because if you allow your emotions alone, you're not going to see that you're being a mug. So you have to ask yourself, hold on, is there a balance? And talk about it. And depending on how they react will show you their leadership. If I'm saying to you, do you know, the way you deal with this and that and the other, if every time you can't speak, then obviously there's no compromise here, there's no conversation, there's no friendship, then where's the love? What are we even building this on? So the relationship itself as people before even submission and this.
Do you think there can be love without submission?
From what side? From the man to the woman or woman to man? Or just generally in the relationship?
Woman loves him but she doesn't submit to him.
I think so. Because it's not that. But again, like, if we're taking it back to what we've just said, the submission part is, I don't necessarily believe that your leadership skills are the best, but I love you nonetheless. That quality in you, I may love the fact that you're not the best leader, maybe that's my stronger point, but I can't submit to you and follow your lead, because I know
but then that's someone that you're not marrying. That's someone that you're not marrying.
But then it's not for marriage, in a relationship, but you can still marry that person. Why would people do it?
People choose to. Okay,
we know that person. But are we talking about thriving relationships? Are we talking about thriving marriages?
Just marriages.
Because if we're talking generally, to what end?
Yeah, exactly.
For me,
this is
my answer's no.
Same.
Personally.
I feel
because it's true. Like, we can all do things. To what end? Like, the whole point is to have a healthy, thriving,
for it to be a thriving relationship, it won't work. I don't think. It's not for marriage.
Yeah, but most couples who are emotionally involved want a long-term relationship. You may not want to get married.
You care about submission. It may not be important.
I think for men, I think for men it is more than us. I think so.
You give yourself.
I think in our culture, maybe, but to the wider society.
So what does it look like to love someone and not submit? What does that look like? Give me an example of what that might look like.
Is it my situation? I don't know.
But I feel like naturally it works hand in hand. There's a part of submission that's in that love. If you love someone, you're giving yourself to them. You're saying it's me and you, we're doing this, come what may. You know, we're in the trenches, we climb out together.
Or just a partner.
Babe, I know you like this question, but mine is very much
on all
overall.
Okay.
In relationships, full stop.
You mean the male to the female?
I'm just asking if it's either
So you're
one
saying,
partner
could it be
needs to
upfront?
submit. If you're saying one partner needs to submit,
I think both do, but this is what I'm saying.
Both,
Because
okay.
if both aren't submitting, someone is being fed a short straw. Somebody is.
Yeah, but
That's why I believe in both. Do you know what I mean?
Both do submit, but if the guy's the leader, then it's the
He's gonna
responsibility
be
is not
the
different.
yeah.
So the woman will end up coming
but that's a
under,
leader.
and he has the weight of the leadership.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's styles of submission. So I don't believe submission is just yes ma, yes sir.
No, I know.
So even as you're not the leader. So basically, if you're my husband and you say A and I say B, and we look at it, and as a leader, because we could both come to an agreement, you're like, you know what? As a leader, I'm just gonna roll with A.
Yeah.
I need to be able to. Yes, that's the submission part that I'm rolling with you.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if you don't love you can't submit to someone you don't love because you constantly be questioning, is it right? You wouldn't be able to go on that journey together. The truth is, you're constantly looking back. You're constantly doubting. You're constantly making them change their mind because you don't trust. Do you know what I mean? It all works hand in hand.
But the question is, can you have a love without the submission? You're saying
That's what I'm saying.
about love. We agree. I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that. Can you have a love? So can people have a thriving marriage without submission? I think so.
No, because you should be submitted to one another to be married.
Yeah, but
what's marriage for?
But there may not be necessarily any particular leader. There may not be any particular.
Yeah, but that's a leader.
It just is what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but today I might submit.
There's always going to be someone that's
today I might submit as a husband, tomorrow you may submit as a wife. But there's still submission.
Okay,
Do you see what I mean? Like, love works with submission. At some point, you're both, if you're going to go on a journey together, if you're doing two-legged race, if you say we have to go left, I must say, okay, let's go left now. Okay, now let's go right. So yes, there's not one leader every given time, but generally in relationships that there's compromise, there isn't one leader all the time.
I see what you're saying.
Do you see what I mean?
Okay. So in order to love, you have to submit.
But submission now, they've just ruined that word.
That's it.
It's really word.
Yeah,
My knee-jerk reaction is to run for the hills.
But that's because of the way it's been. That's because of the way it's just been
it's
kind of like
justified.
put to
Please
us.
run for the hills if you're on a dangerous. Honestly, I'm a very big advocate.
man.
I'm so sorry, yeah, but when it comes to abuse in relationships, I'm very passionate about this. And in all honesty, I beg you with my heart, whoever you are, please, if you're being abused, run for the highest Mount Everest you can find. I believe in that. Don't get me wrong. But this is what I'm saying. Submission has been tainted. It's been used. So it's been used to come across like it means dictatorship. And that's why when people hear submission, they think dictatorship and they think I'm out.
I think the only reason why it's gone about that way is because women are now independent. If we were at home looking after our kids, it would be nothing.
No, I don't know. Because again, don't forget people.
Or it will be less of a thing.
Like stay at home.
Because if you're at home, what is there that he's controlling?
Can I
That
tell you-
financial abuse.
Can I tell you why? Can you tell me why
Still
that's
abusing that.
And also,
if you're at home and you're not working, what's the financial
can we remember
abuse?
that men get abused?
You have to give you
No,
the
no,
money.
Yeah.
Can I have
Okay,
money
cool.
for that one? No, can I have money for onion?
Yeah, true.
Can I have money for knickers? Imagine. But can I just
But that's
remind
just the way it
us?
was.
You said that women staying at home. Can I remind us that men actually get abused? Men, a woman can be a housewife, making her husband work a job he doesn't want to work, making these things.
Making him work.
Guys, I don't know if you've
Sorry,
seen
men
it,
are
but
meant
it's
they have to
actually real.
work. Men are meant to work. Sorry, that's another conversation.
Not meant to work.
Stay on dads.
No.
Forget that. That's a separate. I get that. We'll talk about that one, don't worry. But
Me, I'm traditional. I want to stay at home.
I mean, someone being made. I mean, like being forced to do something. Like I don't know if you've ever watched some reality, and even I watch all these crime and all these
How
kind
you
of
gonna
things,
fit
right?
force a man
And
to
there was
do
a man who he wasn't allowed to eat. He lost so much weight. His wife she lives in the house. He will lock himself in a room because when she gets annoyed, he'll throw something at her. She'll throw something at him.
The British one.
Yes.
I watched that one.
So he was
nothing.
honestly, he was skin and bones. It was scary.
He was controlling women.
I don't know.
She was sending him out. Yeah, she was sending him out. She was basically a housewife. So this is why I'm saying that it's not from the whole once upon a time we were at home, because remember that these things will switch. It's not gender based all the time. Most of the time, yes, of
Once
course,
upon a time
we
it
know
was.
women are higher, yes, but there are a lot of cases equally where women will even pick the man that they feel is a bit of a what's the word?
Pushover.
Right word. Someone like
They call them beta.
Soft.
Instead of alpha is a beta.
Someone who's a little bit more open and flexible. Maybe that's a better word.
Flexible.
Oh God.
What? Where are we going with this?
Whatever. So why are you guys like this?
Where are we going with this?
Flexible. I bet you realize flexible.
That's how you say she bends like a ruler.
No, the answer's no. Anyway, my point is we need to. That's why I don't necessarily believe that it holistically derives from that, because there are cases where that's not how it is. But I do think that it's been misused in traditional times, in cultures, and even amongst the young who are not ready for relationships. Someone's now like, this is how it must be. Because young guys grow up, they see their mum listen to their dad, but they don't know there was a journey there. So they kind of just come and like, I'm expecting you to be like, brother, I met you last week. How about we just go cinema? If I want to come, I come. If I'm not down, everybody chill.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
So Connie, I remember when we spoke about this topic and you mentioned sex before.
What did we say? I can't remember now.
About sex, if you're asking what sex in marriage, do you remember?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember. So when no, this is a good one. It's good that you brought it up.
It is a good one. But everybody forgot apart from her. That's what I'm saying.
I've got good memories in my phone.
Sure. No, you're right.
With particular areas, of course.
No,
go.
So if your husband wants sex, you're tired. Is that the scenario? Would you give it to him? Like, it's a part of submission is probably giving it to him whenever he wants it.
Is it?
You go out to the cinema, he's like, quickly, let's go.
Can I ask you something?
Is that part of submission or a sex slave? Which one is it?
But you're his wife.
What is it to be a wife?
I've no feelings like.
Can I tell you something? If you're forcing me to do, even if you see that,
it's not about forcing.
No, but it is. If that's what I don't want to do, and you want to do,
but you shouldn't. If you're submitting,
in your head, are you saying, you know what, I'm his wife, let me give it to him?
Right.
Or once you say no, it's whatever, and it's out there. You said no, that's it.
Right.
But before you say no, before you say yes, are you thinking
considering?
Actually, let me just give it to him, because he's my man.
You don't want him to go outside and be looking for anything.
It's only one to that one and done.
It could be both, but I think you should be able to feel free enough to maybe say, okay, maybe I'll give it. Do you understand? Like, I was tired yesterday, it's kind of bad. Do you understand?
But then you're doing it because you feel bad.
Because you feel bad that you've declined it from before.
You have a choice.
Okay.
At least if you choose to do it or choose not to do it because actually I'm tired, at least it's your choice.
Yeah.
Not that you feel like it's somebody else's choice. Oh, I can't say no because I have
but
to.
Either way, it's still your choice. But the choice is influenced by the fact that
you're
your
already,
husband.
Yeah, your baseline decision.
You want to.
That's what I do think again. It's part of love. Like, for example, something happens to my friend. I'm really, really tired, but she needs me. I'm gonna drag my whole body, and I don't want to go nowhere. I want to sit in my house. I'd rather talk to you on FaceTime. But I know that what you're going through, I need to be with you. It's inconvenient for me. I don't even have the time for this. However, you're my friend, you're like my sister. I'm gonna drag myself there, even if it's with one croc and one trainer, and make it to you because I need to be there for you. So I see it as more, when you love someone, you do things for them. Not necessarily I do what I don't want to do. I can't be in a place where I feel I'm gonna be in a place of disadvantage or loss. It shouldn't be at that expense.
But also,
does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But the example you gave with the friend is like a very serious scenario. Sex is not. It's not.
It's serious to some people. Though.
It's serious. No, it is.
Remember that it breaks some marriages because some guy actually they want maybe even female. They're like, I need this, and you're depriving me.
We're talking about just an isolated situation, and maybe they don't have a history of lack of sex. And isolated.
She said, take them out of counselling. Let's talk about basic.
Just said no. Just like, oh, do you want to come out tonight? I don't feel like it. Oh, I may. Do you understand? Like that.
Okay.
So like the sex. Oh, yeah, I may not. That's how I see it. Do you understand? Like,
exactly. But I can still liken that. For me, if today you say let's go out, and I'm like, next time you ask me, I may not really want to. But I'm like, last time I said no, that we're not going out.
Let me check my diary.
Can I say that you girls need to take things offline? Why do you do me like this? Every time. Oh,
Beyonce
Booked out.
Booked and
Booked
busy.
out.
Anywho, back to the matter. But there's some things that you do, like I said, as long as you're not at loss or in place of pain or some type of detrimental position because of it, you're considerate.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
But
Maybe that's a better word.
But not
what loss or detrimental?
Yeah.
What loss or detrimental kind of outcome would be out of him asking for sex when you're tired or can't be bothered?
I'll give it.
Yeah. He's asking for sex. Like, what are you losing from giving it? You're going to enjoy. You're going to benefit from it as well. Why are you acting like you're losing?
No, but if you're really tired, you may not benefit.
I don't want to.
Once they've entered the problem,
but they still need to enter. That's still time.
Remember, isn't it you that gave me that example of an electrical kind of gas?
That's what I'm saying. It's still time.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's going to be warming you up. And
No, man. Guys, let's use this example for example.
unless you're dead asleep, like
Yeah.
Let's use this example.
No, but he needs to take the hint. At that point, he needs to. At that point,
Because this is, again, it comes down to love. And if you do you like me as a person? Do you even like me?
Do
you even care about me as an individual? No, honestly, there's a fine line between you like someone, you love them, and you just don't care about anyone else but you.
It's a masturbation tool. They just become something that you just...
Because it's like, for example...
But that's what we are to men. Sorry.
No. Don't use we on that sentence, please.
No.
That's what women are.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Not a masturbation tool, but...
a sex object.
You are also... As long as you're a wife, yes, you're a woman and all your beautiful characteristics, you're also that.
There also is the beauty.
This is what guys think, you know.
It's even the fact
of course.
that you're also that.
Can you not say? There's also the joy of coming together as two to be one flesh in sex.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Okay, sorry.
Always the time
Consecrating your marriage.
Sorry, I didn't use the beautiful words, but you know what I mean.
Sometimes. Damn.
Yeah, but then
sometimes it's just
everybody still enjoy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't enjoy that. Sometimes you want to enjoy that.
Yeah, but you
can't. Do you enjoy being daggered every single time?
Oh my God.
Help me mind our language.
I need a drink.
I get what you mean, right. So if you're tired or whatever, there's many reasons why it may not be like the best thing ever. But if there continues a pattern of it not being the best thing ever, we need to have a conversation.
About sex?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you start the
conversation?
You like those conversations.
Wait.
Those conversations.
No, but it's healthy.
So go forward to talk about sex.
But in last France, we don't talk about it that much.
No, but here,
she can talk about sex.
Wow.
We could be talking about work.
We could be talking about
that's how
rice and stew. We could be talking about gravy, about Frankie and Benny. It could be anything.
Anything. You see her face go like this.
No. I would say.
You know what?
Yeah.
And then she'll say, I would say, go.
I would say it's right. So there's 2 shows on Netflix, right?
Here we go.
There's one called How to Build a Sex Room.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it, but I saw it.
It's an okay watch, but there's a better one called Sex, Love and Goop.
Okay.
With Gwyneth Paltrow, right? Gwyneth Paltrow's business is called Coop. Like it's like all those like yoga, like healthy products, all that kind of thing. It's like her brand, her lifestyle brand, right? So with the Sex, Love and Goop, it was like basically they brought both of them actually. It's like couples that are struggling in their sex life. I proper love it, and they break out the problems. Do you understand? And I think there's a mix of couples. There's white couples. There's like same-sex couples, a mix of couples, right? But what I love on both shows is the black couples, because you realise we don't talk about sex. You don't learn this from your family, from your friends. You learn, but you learn like the worst parts. You don't actually learn. So on the shows here, you see them, as in the guy was crying, just unlocking like stigma, just unlocking things. Like he thought his like girlfriend was frigid. She wasn't frigid. He just wasn't doing what she needed. Not saying he wasn't good in bed, because he was, but there's things that she needed from him that he just didn't get. Do you understand? And through the show now they started unlocking it, and the lady had like a text. I haven't done it yet, but I do want to do it at one point when I have time. Basically, it's like unlocking like the type of like love languages. It's like sex languages, but like so there's different types of the kind of sexual person you are. Because what you said in the show is that it's true that. I've really gone on a tangent. I'm so annoyed, but anyway, sorry guys. I'm interested. But it's like basically, like I mean, for us we were talking about, it's like sex, like we've been taught that the end of that sex is the climax, sex is the climax, sex is the climax. But actually, that's you can have intercourse without not intercourse. You can have like let's say sex without intercourse and without climaxing. Do you understand? Should be its pleasure, should be its enjoyment. Do you understand? But we've learned it in one way only. Do you understand? And I think even more times with that one way only, women end up at the tail end. They've got stats on women or female orgasms and females enjoying sex. It's rubbish. It's really bad. Do you understand? No, it's bad. We end up on the shortest straw. The shortest straw, because our one isn't straightforward like guys. Do you understand? So, but anyway, I would say, guys, like, shows worth watching. It gives good insight. Like, if you're thinking of your marriage and do you understand? Obviously, it's not when things are broken you fix it. Do you understand? It's along the way you make things better and better and better. So I would recommend.
And that's what I was gonna say. A good relationship with sex, with anything, you should be able to talk.
Yeah.
Some people can't. You have to find the right time, right environment, and know how to talk to your partner. Everyone's different. Do you know what I mean? But you need to be able to talk about problems, including sex. And if you can't figure out yourself, go to a counsellor. Find these programs that Takumba's watching. Message Takumba, because guys, I'm not allowed to. This is Takumba.
She's a plug.
But this is it. I think when people look at you know, when you have an issue in your sex life, and you start looking at submission, of course submission is going to be this negative, disgusting thing when you're now being forced to do something you don't want to do because you've got problems there and you're being made to do it.
True.
Do you know what I mean? And then it is borderline abuse because now it's like, I kind of said no, but it all becomes a bit techie. Let's not go into it, but you know what I mean? So conversation is important, and just remember that at the end of the day, like, when it comes to submission, it's not. Do your own research on what submission is. Like, try and look beyond
who you are,
and who you are, and you know what that looks like for you and your partner, and understand that it's important for just you two to understand and be okay with that unit. You know?
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're someone of the faith, you know, the Bible will give you a very good image or illustration of what submission looks like and the importance of submission, etc. But I just think we need to err away from what society has termed it, because it makes it dangerous for us. It makes us hesitant when we shouldn't be. It makes us overgiving when we shouldn't be. So it doesn't create balance, and you don't have a safe space if you use it from the same place.
Yeah, well said.
Anyways, guys, we hope you enjoyed that. You got to know a little bit about us.
Somebody. This was important. Don't mind that.
Anyway, they've been at me all day. It's my turn. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed that, guys. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your suggestions. We're totally here for it. See you next Tuesday. Bye.